Hello, 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 everybody. Let me just make sure I'm not muted. La, la, la. I am on. Hello, hello. Let me unmute you. Hold on one second. Unmute. There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
So,
so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Aww. So, how long will you have me talking today?
So you can go anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay. So we'll be doing it together.
Yes.
And so you can bring up some of the things that go through people's heads when they are thinking about losing weight, when they're thinking about having to diet, and I'm sure you're so very familiar with all that.
Yes.
So I'll ask you what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and we can just go through it like that.
Okay? That sounds perfect.
Great.
Sounds perfect. And I know some people will be getting on. Some people get off at 5:30, 5:15. I told them just to get on whenever, because and they'll be muted so they can watch this later also, and they could actually tap with us later, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like if they watched this before, just so they know, they could just tap and pretty much say what I say and you say and do. And I wanted to give this really as an intro for them to see how they can change their brain chemistry, like you and I have talked about, right? And change that pattern in the brain.
Yeah, and create the new neural wiring so that they don't have to stay stuck. It literally creates a go-around track. So you don't have to stay stuck in those same old grooves, which are really deep. And they really are grooves. I mean, just like the old records, when you put, you and I remember those LPs. When you put a needle down on that track, you would play the same song every single time. Well, that's what happens in the brain. It's those thoughts, and they're really fast. So they just happen like that automatically. So we're creating new patterns.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. So you do this though for a wide range. You've done it for people with fire survivors. I mean, weight loss is just one.
Yes, PTSD.
Many
people who come to me have done a lot of therapy, either for weight loss and their issues of body, or for abuse that happened, and even mental and emotional abuse, which often ties into our self-image and our weight. I see people for all of those things. And a lot of times there's nothing wrong with therapy, but all of these thoughts and these fears and these traumas are held in the very oldest part of the brain, which is pre-verbal. It doesn't have any words attached to it. So just talking about it doesn't always clear it. And that's why people tend to stay with therapists for a long time, and they may develop some kind of a codependent relationship with it too. But that's something that happens. And so, but when you have the tapping, that is the extra piece that directly hits that part of the brain. So that's why it's so effective.
All right.
I am recognizing that I probably should plug in, and I moved my computer. So hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All set.
So when someone's doing EFT also, which is emotional freedom technique, people always say, what's EFT? When they're doing that, they just have to be in a calm place, or what do you think?
Actually, when people reach out for a tool, they're usually not in a calm place.
Right.
They're usually in a place of anxiety, or I want to jump out of my skin, or this is never going to work, or I just am totally not motivated. I'm going to wait until I feel like doing it. Right. And the problem with that is that the executive functions in the brain, which are that piece, that part of the brain that actually takes your intentions, moves it forward into action, may not be firing right then. So when you start the action, then the motivation comes in. So with the tapping, people often feel that they are just like, it's hopeless. They've tried before and it didn't work. That inner critic inside is going really crazy.
Right.
So, and in fact, for people who would like to at the end, they can go to my website and put their email in and get a whole script for the inner critic, which will directly relate to what we're doing here too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all that piece that it's not going to work. Why would I bother anyway? You know.
And that has to go with everything. I mean, the inner critic, right?
That's right. And
ego.
Yeah, and you know, UC Davis did a study of 27,000 people in 90 countries, and they all have a form of the inner critic. We all have it. So you're not flawed if you have one that's particularly strong. You just need to know how to work with it.
Right.
EFT is very, very good for that.
Awesome. All right. So do you want to give your website before I forget? You'll say it later, but you might want to say it right now too.
Sure, it's successinhand.com. So that's www.successinhand.com.
In your hands. It's in your hands. I love it.
That's right.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get started.
Okay. So let's say you are thinking about, because you're going to be our surrogate today. Yeah. You're thinking about losing weight. And what's the anxiety that comes up there around that for you or for other people with you?
Well, I think it's the same thing when you're, and there's people getting on, and I just want you all to know that are getting on. I am muting most people just so that we can do this together. If you get on, you can mute yourself and then ask questions after. And if they want, they can just join in with me, right? Like if there's something I say, they can join. Is that correct, Margie? Did I cut out?
You froze for a minute. Can you repeat that one?
Yeah, I was going to say whoever's getting on, they can always ask questions at the end. Oh, and sure. They can, if they want to do it with us, they can. And what else was I going to say was it's good to watch.
Yeah, it's great to watch afterwards, and they can tap along with us too.
Yeah, and they can, so if you're on, I think Michelle's on. So when you're on, if you're watching, it'd be really good because you can see our tapping points.
That's right. And you should tap along with it, even if it's not particularly what you would say. There's something called borrowed benefits, so that you will get the benefit in any case. Awesome. It's always fascinating to do with a group of people because you may not be tapping on your issue, but you find that your issue is actually improved as well.
Right. And what you were saying about, so when people come to me for weight loss, they just feel bad because they've tried, like you were saying earlier, they've tried everything. They feel like they just want to have bread or wine or cheese or, and they're trying to be healthy, but they're struggling. They're craving like mad. They have to be around family that's eating right in front of them. They have to take their kids and food like macaroni and cheese, and they can't have any. So there's all of those things, right? It's like I suck, like I can't do it. Deprived.
For me.
Or
I could just do it this once, and I'll go back to the diet tomorrow.
Right. I'll get back to it tomorrow.
Yeah. And so then that's the debate, you know. Like, you could just have one bite. No, you shouldn't. It's just going to wake the cravings. But it's okay. And if nobody sees you, it doesn't even count. Right. Which is crazy making.
It is. All right. So is that enough information?
So let's start by asking you, and you can be one of your clients. You can just channel what they've said. We start out by saying, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is your level of distress around it? And that could be anxiety, or could be concern, or feeling like you're going to fail.
Usually they're coming in about an 8 or a 9 or a 10.
Right.
So I'll just say today I'm at a 9.
Okay. All right. And so then I'm going to demonstrate the points and the places that we tap before we go through it. And I'll lead you all through it all along the way. Okay.
Awesome.
So we're going to be tapping here on the karate chop point. And we start out with tapping, saying the what's called a reversal. So we'll have something like, I don't think I can really lose weight. I want to lose weight, but I don't know if it's impossible. And then we counter it with a positive. In any case, I deeply love and completely accept myself. We do that 3 times, and then we go down through here. And people have heard different things about tapping. So we're going under the nose and under the lip. We go under the collarbone here. It might not be as easy to see, but we go under the arm, one or both. And then we add in the wrists. We're extra points that are really effective.
Okay.
Some people think that tapping should just be affirmations. Like, I can do this. There's no problem. I'll just lose 10 pounds by tomorrow. The brain says, right. Remember this, remember that. It's giving you all the times that it didn't work. So that might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't last. And by tapping on the more negative phrases, we actually are neutralizing them so that the brain knows you're paying attention, and it can take on less and less of the distress and then build up with more of the positives. So I like to say that because there's lots of people who have done lots of different things around tapping on the internet, and not all of them are really the emotional freedom technique. That's the real deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you, Monica, if you come in at a 9 today, what are your chief concerns around losing weight? How do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm a disappointment to my family. I could have diabetes in the future if I don't get a handle on this, that I will think that I really can't get a handle on anything in my life if I can't figure this out. And I really, really want to eat some cheese and bread. So it's intense.
Okay, so that's good. That's enough to start on. Okay, so we'll start here. I don't even think I can lose weight. And you're going to repeat.
Okay, I don't even think I can lose weight.
I've tried it before.
I tried it before.
And why should I have to be deprived?
Should I have to be deprived?
And still, even though this is a problem, I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I really want to eat bread and cheese.
I really want to eat bread and cheese.
Everybody else gets to do it.
Everybody else gets to do it.
Why shouldn't I get to do it?
Why shouldn't I get to do it?
It's really hard for me not to when everybody's doing it around me.
It's really hard for me to not to if everybody else is eating it around me.
So even though I have this problem, I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
Even though I want to lose weight, I don't even know if it's possible. I can't get a handle on anything. And if I can't even lose weight, then I'm really kind of stuck.
And if I can't even lose weight, I'm really stuck.
So, although that's a problem. And I have a lot of anxiety around it. I deeply love and completely accept myself. Okay, let's go to the top of the head here. I've tried to lose weight before.
I've tried to lose weight before.
And it hasn't worked.
And it hasn't worked.
Or I've lost the weight and gained it all back.
I've lost the weight and I've gained it all back.
And that's not fair.
And that's not fair.
So I don't even think it's possible.
So I don't even think it's possible.
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
I get anxious just thinking about it.
I get anxious just thinking about it.
And I really want to be able to eat what I want to eat.
And I really want to be able to eat what I want to eat.
If there was a diet where I could eat all the bread and cheese I want, maybe I could do that.
If there was a diet where I could eat all the bread and cheese I want, maybe I could do that.
Oh, and then there's wine too.
And then there's wine too.
But I haven't found a diet like that.
But I haven't got a diet like that.
And I have to see my family eat it.
I have to see my family eat it.
I might even have to make it for them.
I might even have to make it for them.
And that's just torture.
And that's just torture.
Because I'm not supposed to eat it.
Because I'm not supposed to eat it.
But I feel stuck.
But I feel stuck.
Part of me really wants to lose the weight.
Part of me really wants to lose the weight.
It's like organizing myself from the inside out.
Like organizing myself from the inside out.
And then I wouldn't be caught in all the cravings.
I wouldn't be caught in all the cravings.
But I just don't know if it's possible.
But I just don't know if it's possible.
So part of me wants to and part of me doesn't.
So part of me wants to and part of me doesn't.
That's right. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. In and out. And so where would you say you are on that scale now? Maybe you've come down to 7 or 8. Where do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about a 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was feeling kind of silly. Like, that's silly that I think this way. Here's my brain patterns.
That's right. Yeah. However, you know, people do feel that way. Yeah. And lots of times it's almost crazy making to think that way, but especially when we say it out loud, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Which is one of the beauties of saying it out loud, because you get to hear yourself.
Right.
Okay. So what else came up? Why would it still be a 5?
Because dinner time's around the corner.
Okay.
And it's a summer day and I just want to go have some ice cream, and I deserve to go out and have cocktails with my friends. I'm thinking of what I hear. I should get to do that. Yeah. I shouldn't be denied those wonderful treats.
Right. Okay. So let's work with that.
Okay.
Start tapping again. Neutralizing more of those negatives. It's a summer day.
Summer day.
And I really want to go have ice cream.
And I really want to go have ice cream.
One of my favorite foods.
One of my favorite foods.
And when I think about giving that up for a diet, it really makes me crazy.
And when I think about giving it up for a diet, it makes me crazy.
So even though I'm caught in this thinking, I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
When I look in the mirror, I don't even recognize who I am.
When I look in the mirror, I don't even recognize who I am.
I don't know how I got that big.
I don't know how I got that big.
Part of me disconnects from it entirely.
Part of me disconnects from it entirely.
And I just see myself from the neck up.
And I just see myself from the neck up.
So even though that makes me feel less than, even though that makes me feel ashamed.
Even though that makes me feel ashamed.
I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
Yeah. My friends are out having cocktails.
My friends are out having cocktails.
Why can't I do that too?
Why can't I do that too?
I want to be one of the gals.
I want to be one of the gals.
I don't want to have to be singled out and different.
I don't want to have to be singled out and different.
But I know that that's not on the food plan.
But I know that's not on the food plan.
So even though I have this inner debate going, I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
I still deeply love and completely accept myself.
Okay, top here. It's a summer day and I want ice cream.
It's a summer day and I want ice cream.
My kids get to have ice cream.
My kids, I get to have ice cream.
Why don't I get to have it?
Why don't I get to have it?
Makes me feel deprived not to have it.
Makes me feel deprived not to have it.
It's one of my favorite foods.
One of my favorite foods.
And it's got dairy in it, so it must have some protein.
It's got dairy in it, so it must have some protein.
Okay. Sometimes I feel deprived when I think about dieting.
Sometimes I feel deprived when I think about dieting.
Then I catch myself in the mirror and I almost don't recognize myself.
I catch myself in the mirror and I almost don't recognize myself.
I really don't want to think about how big I am.
I really don't want to think about how big I am.
I usually just look at myself from the neck up. But I might have a little bit of willingness to change my food plan. Especially if I thought I might be successful. Of course, I don't know if I can go out with the girls. If they're all drinking cocktails, it might be too hard to stay away from it. Then I'll feel deprived. Why do I have to be different? Why can some people eat anything they want and never gain a pound?
Why can some people have anything they want and never gain a pound?
That's not me.
That's not me.
I'd like it to be me.
I'd like it to be me.
I wish this just wasn't so hard.
I wish this just wasn't so hard.
Yeah, take a deep breath. In and out. And I want to just give a little mention, and I may not have mentioned it before, but when people first start this, they may not be able to say, I deeply love and completely accept myself and believe it. The reason we do that, even if you don't believe it right now, is that as you go through this process more and more, you will. And that child inside needs to hear that because she needs that unconditional love. Right. So that's the reason we do that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. No, and I could see how it can be hard. Yeah. I remember when we worked together, there were some things that, of course, I started crying because you don't even realize, like, oh, wow, this is difficult. This is a lot of old stuff that I forgot about.
Yes. And then you lift it, you neutralize it, and you start feeling better. And sometimes it's incredible, but sometimes people at the end of the session say, well, how do you feel about this issue? And they say, I never had a problem with that. And I'm thinking, well, we just spent 90 minutes tapping on it. I think you have a problem with it. But yes, I mean, it really creates that new neural wiring in the brain. And so you don't have to stay stuck on it.
Right.
So, okay. So talking about family patterns and maybe those things that happened to us in the past that keep us wanting to have some kind of buffer around us. Mm-hmm. I had somebody tell me recently that their weight was their superhero. It was their superhero talent. Right. They could be invisible. Except that they really knew that they weren't, but part of them was holding on to that. Right. Because if I lose all this weight that I've gained, I'm going to be seen by men.
Mm.
That was her issue. You ever hear anything like that?
Yeah. In radical forgiveness, in my coaching, that's one of the signs of abuse, physical, verbal, spiritual abuse is holding on to weight as a safety.
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about if we tap on some things like that?
Okay.
So that we can just address those kind of body images and the false notion that we are invisible and that, nobody's going to look at it if it's us, if we're really big.
Right. Okay. That's perfect.
All right. I don't want all that unwanted attention.
I don't want all that unwanted attention.
When I was thinner, I used to get a lot of attention from men.
When I was thinner, I used to get a lot of attention from men.
But the weight protects me.
But the weight protects me.
I'm almost invisible.
I'm almost invisible.
Even though I don't really want to carry it anymore.
Even though I don't really want to carry it anymore.
But I deeply love and completely accept myself.
But I deeply love and completely accept myself.
If I release this weight, will I have any boundaries at all?
If I release this weight, will I have any boundaries at all?
How will I keep that unwanted attention away from me?
How will I keep that unwanted attention away from me?
Maybe I can't.
Maybe I can't.
And that brings up anxiety.
And that brings up anxiety.
So even though I'm not sure what I want to do.
Even though I'm not sure what I want to do.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I have memories of real abuse.
I have memories of real abuse.
I remember what my father said or my playmate said.
I remember what my father said or my playmate said.
And it really hurt.
And it really hurt.
So sometimes I shove down those hurt with food.
And sometimes I shove down that hurt with food.
And I'm not sure what I'll use if I don't use the food.
And I'm not sure what I'll use if I don't use the food.
So even though this makes me feel anxious.
Even though this makes me feel anxious.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
I deeply love and completely accept myself.
Okay, let's go up here. The weight actually serves me because I can be invisible.
The weight actually serves me because then I can be invisible.
And no men are coming near me.
And no men are coming near me.
I don't know how to keep myself protected otherwise.
I don't know how to keep myself protected otherwise.
I got a lot of unwanted attention growing up.
I got a lot of unwanted attention growing up.
If I release this weight, I don't know what I'll do.
If I release this weight, I don't know what I'll do.
I might be too seen.
I might be too seen.
I don't know if I can do the boundaries.
I don't know if I can do the boundaries.
And only let in what I want to.
And only let in what I want to.
So I have a lot of concern about losing the weight.
So I have a lot of concern about losing the weight.
And I know that I stuff down feelings.
And I know that I stuff down feelings.
Sometimes I'm feeling so much that just the food helps.
Sometimes I'm feeling so much, just the food helps.
It helps me not to feel for a little while.
It helps me not to feel for a little while.
But then I'm carrying it around with me all the time.
Then I'm carrying it around with me all the time.
So I don't want to be too seen.
I don't want to be too seen.
I might still want to numb out with the feelings.
I might want to numb out with the feelings.
but I really don't want to carry this all around anymore.
I really don't want to carry this around anymore.
So I've got to find a way through it.
I got to find a way through it.
Because maybe that will help me see the possibilities.
Because maybe that will help me see the possibilities.
And I'm not sure if I'll be successful.
And I'm not sure if I'll be successful.
But I have a little bit of hope.
But I have a little bit of hope.
Take a deep breath. In and out.
Feels so much better.
Yeah. Did anything else come up?
No, I just felt light. There was one point I was like thinking, wow, like thinking of being a child and having abuse. And yeah, that was interesting. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was there, you know. That was really good.
So there is a scale, it's called the ACEs score, and it's Adverse Childhood Experiences. And it's used by sociologists and psychologists, that kind of thing, social workers. And those of us who have food addictions have a pretty high ACEs score usually. So maybe we grew up in a house where our ideas were not respected. Maybe our boundaries were not respected. Maybe there was so much turmoil, whether it was physical violence or not. There might have been so much turmoil that we just anesthetized ourselves, numbed ourselves with food. Right?
Yes.
But all kinds of things. And I know from personal experience.
Right.
My sister wouldn't eat anything, and I ate everything. So
wow. So you took the opposite routes.
Right, but we both had eating disorders.
Yeah, same. I mean, you were doing the same thing, but you would be eating to numb, and she would not eat to numb.
Right.
Right.
Right, and it's about control. It's something I can control.
Right.
And when I talk to people who are, maybe they've had problems with alcohol or even drugs, they think that the food is the easier, softer way. They said, well, at least it's not illegal and everybody eats.
Right.
And how can I possibly put it down? It's not like I can put down drinking because I have to eat 3 times a day.
Right.
However, when you put down drinking, you don't really stop drinking water and soda and other things besides alcohol.
Right.
And when you put down certain foods, it doesn't mean you have to stop eating everything.
Right.
It's just about, I'm sure with your program, it's about tuning into how you feel with the different foods.
Right.
So does the sugar really make you feel good?
Right.
I know with me, I've had to work with it a lot. And when I'm eating the sugar, I like it. After I've eaten it, I feel kind of sick. If I eat some more, temporarily, I'll feel better. And then I'm going to feel worse. So it's, you're on the seesaw. And I don't need to do that. And bread and cheese, dairy products do that to me too.
Yeah. Yeah. And people will ask me, a lot of times I tell the group to ask their body, what does it want? Just sit for a minute and say, okay, body, what does it want? What do you want? What do you truly want? And never do they say it's a hamburger or cheese. It's like, oh, I want to go to sleep and take a nap, or I want to rest. I want some water.
Right, really.
Yeah. So those are the things I want. I want to see if Michelle here has any questions. Let me see. She's on. Michelle, are you on? She might have it on mute. Let me see. Let's see if I can find. Let's see, is she on? Michelle, are you there? You have any questions? She might. Oh, there she is. Hey, Mama, you have any questions? I don't hear you. We can't hear you. Michelle. I'm just seeing if she has any questions.
You can ask her to put it in the chat.
Oh, you can type it in the chat box. If you don't, it should be on the bottom. Oops. Are you there? Nope. Okay. Well, you can type it on the bottom. If you want to have any questions, just let us know. We're going to talk a little bit more. Sometimes I know if I don't have good Wi-Fi, I have to call in with my phone on a separate line.
Yes.
So I wanted to share with you, we had our tapping, we did tapping session together, and I was feeling so calm for weeks. Like people were asking me like, why you seem so calm, like something shifted. And I was like, yeah, I did. I actually shifted this picture I used to have in my head all the time, and I can't really think about what that picture is anymore. Yeah. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people have these pictures in their heads where they think that it's that past. And somebody asked me about the fires, like, are you going to go watch the movie of the fires? And I'm like, no, I don't want to see any of those pictures. Like, I don't want to replay any of that in my head.
Right.
Yeah. So
when trauma happens, and trauma can be anything from extreme disappointment, it can feel being abandoned, and you might be a child and you're left at school and nobody else comes, everybody else has gone home and nobody comes to get you until later, and you're really feeling abandoned. It may be putting your hope in somebody and then having them crush them. It may be actually more abuse or car accidents, all kinds of things.
Right.
Fire. When the trauma happens, it's like a snapshot of everything that happened at that time. And it contains the feelings and the pictures, right? All the energy around it.
Right.
All the sensations. And it gets encapsulated. And it's held in that very earliest part, that preverbal area of the brain called the amygdala. So the brain's job is to bring you the memories to keep you safe. So when you're thinking about something, maybe, I know I've worked with lots of fire victims, and maybe they smell smoke, or they see a fire truck go by with sirens on, and things come forward if they haven't worked on it. And so the brain brings anything that's even slightly related to it in the past forward. And so it's all so much to feel right now, and it doesn't all belong to this moment, but we can't differentiate it. That's why the tapping helps take apart that capsule, so that it no longer is part of the information that the brain is sending.
Right.
There's that relief. And lots of times people do that EFT matrix re-imprinting, and they actually visit that younger self that was in that trauma.
Right.
And enable her or him to change it. And then, like you said, we have a different picture that we imprint, and it becomes the dominant memory. So you don't completely forget about the other, but it's almost like it's worked to bring it up.
Right.
Because now you have a better memory to hold on to.
Yeah, I have that memory of having, like, being a magician and having a magic wand, and
that's right.
Yeah. I just got a message from Michelle that said she can't get her mic to work, so it's perfectly fine. But she didn't have questions yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about the different points you were tapping? And maybe about, like, in somebody's first session, what did they work on? It's pretty quick. I know you asked a few questions pretty quick.
Yeah. So when somebody comes in, I ask them what they want to work on today. And let's say it's weight loss. And then I ask them, okay, what is the thinking around that? And usually there's a big story attached. We try not to get too deep into the story because we actually don't need to. But if we get a few of the facts or the thoughts that are acting like facts, fear, there's an acronym. It's fear is false evidence appearing real.
Right.
And so we all hold that. So we get some information about it, and then we'll just go ahead and check and see where are you on the scale of 0 to 10 for that intensity? It's called the subjective unit of distress. How much distress do you have? 10 is the most and 0 is none. And lots of times people are 8, 9, 10.
Right.
Which is why they're there. That's why they're there to work on it. So then we start with what are the feelings that you have, and then we start going deeper into what are the experiences, and even deeper into that is what are the core beliefs beneath that. And so that's what we've been doing as we're going through this process. So it's not just the surface level.
Right.
It's really customized to whatever is going on for them. And because the brain is very creative, what happens is often when we're tapping, another memory will come up that doesn't seem to be related, except that there are some similarities. And so we can tap that down too. And, maybe I'll say, okay, where are you now? And they'll say, well, I'm at a 5. And I say, okay, why is it still a 5? Because they might say, well, I'm feeling better. I'm really feeling better. And I say, hey, why is it at a 5? And then they'll bring up other things and they might say, I haven't thought about that in years.
Right.
But the brain has been holding it. So you are allowing yourself to be unearthing those memories so they don't have to stay stuck. And then we can clear them, right? So it's not, this is not therapy. This is a modality that helps you work through things fairly quickly. In fact, if people have never done any therapy and kind of learned that they got through this and maybe they learned from it, it's almost too fast because it's a quick result.
Right.
It is a self-help tool, although I work with a practitioner when I have things that are up because she can listen beneath the surface and get to those patterns and those deeper issues.
Right.
So that's what we do when they come in. We have to do that assessment process first, and then we lead into it, and we allow the memories to kind of come up. And I always tell people that if the brain lets go kind of memory, it's going to just kind of go on through. So go ahead and just speak it aloud. Otherwise, at the end of the round, you may not remember it. That's just kind of gone on through. I always give people permission to change what we're saying if they need to. We try to keep the phrases fairly short so that the brain can take them on. And some people have a really hard time putting a number to their intensity of their feeling. Right. So then we can say, okay, so let's just go inside for a minute and see where are you holding any tension or tightness in your body. And it might be, in my throat, I feel like I just can't even speak, or it might be in the heart area or the gut, sometimes the shoulders. Right. And then I ask them, so if there is a color that was associated with it, what would it be? Maybe it's red. And I say, okay, what would feel better? Well, a soft blue would feel better. Okay, great. And as we go through it, we check in, we say, okay, so what color are you holding now? And they come down to what works for them. So there's always ways to adapt it if you're working one-on-one with somebody, or even just in a group rather than just tapping along with the video. But that's a good start. It's a good start to get you there.
And how often should somebody who's doing a cleanse with me, it's usually the hardest part is the first 3 days, right? Of most cleanses. How often should they do it during the day?
I would say you could do it whenever the feelings are coming up, and you can do it to empower yourself as well. This all is very empowering. So if you have anxiety when you wake up, some people do, you don't even have to have magic words to do this. You could just say, this anxiety, I'm feeling it in my throat and my head. I don't even know why it's there. Right. But I deeply love and completely accept myself. Wow. Why the heck do I have to wake up with this anxiety? It's there before I even open my eyes. It's really not fair. Other people don't wake up with it. And still, I deeply love and completely accept myself.
And you go through that. So that's, you know, this anxiety. Yeah. I'm feeling it in my body. Don't know what to do with it, but I deeply love and completely accept myself. So it doesn't even have to be the exact issue that you're typing on. It can be the feeling that you tap on. So
the feeling, and if other people are around, just say, you know, your family sitting there, you're on an airplane, can you just think it?
Oh, I do. Yeah. A lot of people do. Yep. Okay. I actually tend to get car sick. Something from when I was a kid. I get train sick and boat sick and all that stuff, motion sickness. So if we're traveling and I'm the passenger, you know, I'll sit there and I'll say it to myself, and I'll just be tapping, and I'll say, you know, these feelings, I'm feeling really queasy. Here I am again. Why does this even happen? But I'm saying it to myself, and it really, really helps. Mm-hmm. And you can use this for pain, and you can use it for so many things, so many things. Anything that the brain can dream up, you can tap down.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. Well, we're going to definitely have to do another session with I think some other things, because I do work with a lot of entrepreneurs too. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of that shame or the unworthiness and that stuff is all sitting there also.
Absolutely.
So that would be good. So do you want to share anything else, or you want to share like how long a session usually is with you? And
yeah, I usually take 90 minutes to go with people, and I give them a complimentary session to start. For your members, I'll give them a complimentary session to start. That's usually an hour. Sometimes it goes a little over. Mm-hmm. The paid sessions is 90 minutes. And the reason for that is because we really can get through a number of different issues or deeper in that one issue. And then, like, you know, there's the EFT matrix re-imprinting, which is a deeper level of the emotional freedom technique. Right. So that's all on my website. You can get information there, and that is successinhand.com. And it explains the differences there. Also, if your members are interested, they can go to my latest blog, which is on the website, and it's on the inner critic. And many of the things that we were talking about today are included there. And so they can read a little blog article. If they put their email in there, they can actually get a tapping script for it, and they can start seeing a little video on it. I love giving information. I'm basically a teacher at heart. So anytime you learn something with me, you've got the written or the video to go along with it so that you don't have to forget.
That's great.
You don't have to worry about forgetting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get on and download that.
Yeah. So August 19th, I'd like to invite your members, if they'd like to come. It's a Women Tapping into Empowerment group. Ooh. And yeah, that's going to be at Success in Hand in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
It's August 19th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And it's normally $27 to come. If your members would like to come, they can come for $17. Oh, so it's a $10 discount on that. And it's really a community thing. So we are getting together as women, and we are supporting each other. And one person's issue may be, I can't sleep through the night, or it's really hard to let myself go to sleep. And another one's might be, I keep eating these foods that I know aren't good for me.
Right.
You know, we tap along with each one of them, and I get to work with each one of them. We'll tap along, and everybody taps along for those borrowed benefits. And then somebody who didn't even talk about having, difficulty sleeping through the night, afterwards they check in with them. They're like, I have the best sleep I've had in months.
Wow, yes, I love it.
Yes, this stuff works,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So that's August 19th here in Santa Rosa.
August 19th, 10 to 12:30.
Yes, yeah, and that's on my website too. You can look at that under the events section.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yay. I'm so excited. And if you have time, soon we'll get you back. And I know some of the ladies were saying later would be better for them. So maybe like a 6 p.m. or something.
Sure. Yeah, my schedule is flexible. So we'll just arrange that. And if, you know, a Saturday morning is better for them, we can do that as well. So maybe offering it at different times to see how much response you get in each one of them.
Yeah.
And then if you want to, we can talk about maybe creating a program together so that people get to move through it together.
Love it. I have extreme benefits. I mean, I like to do everything like meditating and, you know, but this, I really feel that it's an alternative therapy or self-help that most people don't know about and they need to know.
Right. When I first heard about it, I was reading about it on the internet and I thought, this is interesting. I don't know. It's a little airy-fairy, maybe, I don't know. And then one of the leaders of the movement actually lives in Santa Rosa, although he's usually traveling around the world. He happened to be offering a workshop. So I went and it blew me away. So another good thing that EFT is for phobias. And that's what we were working on. And after about 20, 25 minutes, I'm tapping on my phobia of birds because I'd been attacked by lots of birds through my life.
Right.
I'm no longer afraid of birds. I don't have, my heart's not beating hard. I'm not perspiring. I could have a bird right next to me and be okay. So it really was like, wow, that was fast.
Amazing.
So I thought, oh, now I have to learn everything I can about this. And you can take it even into the womb. Mm-hmm. And there are some people that have a concept of past lives. You can take it there or into dreams. It's very helpful. You know,
you do EFT in your dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that'd be awesome. I'm going to have to remember that.
Because as far as the brain's concerned, and we have a brain here, and we have a brain in our heart, and we have a brain in our gut, and you know about that. All time is happening at once. So you can go to the past or up to the present or sometimes even beyond.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And I'm going to download this. I'll send you a copy and I'm going to put it in our group too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's super beneficial and people can watch it again and again and learn something new and they can look at your website, Success in Hand, right?
Successinhand.com.
Love that name. All right, love. We will chat soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Monica.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.